Hi guys, it's me Ellie, and I've got with me Nadia today. Nadia does a lot of work with us, and she is a hypnotherapist. So, hi Nadia, it's so lovely to have you here. We've
Hi,
worked with you
Ellie.
before, but I'll be honest, when I first heard hypnotherapy before we worked with you, I was a little skeptical because I grew up in the era of Paul McKenna, where you'd see people being put under and suddenly acting like a dog on stage. So I thought, sure, I'm not up for that. So I wanted to interview you today before we run your course and basically ask, what is hypnotherapy?
Well, thank you for asking. I know I'm not Paul McKenna, really not. Oh, Darren Brown? It's another one, isn't it? So no, so hypnotherapy is simple in a therapeutic context, is simply a way of accessing your subconscious mind. So your mind that controls all your and stores all your thoughts, behaviors, learnings, everything, and helping you to access it so that you can then come unstuck with something. So basically, hypnotherapy allows you to go in with focused attention
Yeah.
and allows you to sort of relax. It slows the conscious mind down so that we can communicate directly to the subconscious.
So what happens in a session to put people's minds at rest?
So in a session,
Like, for
what we tend
example, our session that we're going to do.
Okay, so first off, when we first join the group session, it'd be just a case of, well, everyone's gonna be a bit anxious to be fair, because it may or may not be new. So I tend to do a bit of a chat and sort of say, hey, this is what hypnosis is. It's a bit between being asleep and awake, and give you a few examples. Like, for example, if you've been driving somewhere and you found that you've sort of switched off to a point, you don't realize how you've gotten from that bit of the journey to the end point,
Like
and you're
autopilot.
thinking, absolutely, autopilot. The same with like going in. So I explain what hypnosis is and what it is going to be. And again, I reassure you all that you are in control. It is your experience. You cannot do it right. You cannot do it wrong. It is yours to experience. Um, and again, the Paul McKenna aspect, going back to that, you're in control. Unless, of course, you want to do something weird and wonderful. I mean, that's your prerogative,
Yeah,
but
it's generally
your
mine.
choice. If
Do
you
you
want to go around barking like a dog, yeah, go for it. But
I do
that's
that
not the
already.
ask.
Do you know if it works for everyone? I mean, I was skeptical. Does it work for everyone, especially ADHD minds? We've got very busy minds and it's very hard for us to switch off and concentrate on what you're saying. So, do you think it works for everyone?
Absolutely. And I am ADHD. That is it. I do not cope with things like meditation because I have to be still. It doesn't work for me. My brain does not allow that. Hypnosis, it works because I get you actively doing something in your brain.
Yeah.
So you're not just sat there and being passive in it. You're involved. This is your process, your journey. And I sort of lead you through certain process that, so, if I do relaxation with you,
Hmm.
you're going through your body and you're making your muscles relax. So you're actively involved. And I also say, if you happen to be popped over to do your shopping list as well, again, doesn't matter.
You can get back into it.
Absolutely. My brain wanders all over the place. So, I can be going into hypnosis and I'll be thinking about, oh, yeah, I haven't put this on my shopping list, or I've forgotten this, but that doesn't matter because all those thoughts happen and you just naturally sink in. It's really hard to explain until you experience it, but it is not, you know.
Yeah, I know
And as
certainly when I came on the course with you, because I was very skeptical. And when I came on the course with you, it was something completely different to what I expected. I thought it was going to be all that, click your fingers and you're going to go to sleep and wake up. But for me, it felt like more of a guided meditation, but more of a
Mhm.
deep, intense guided meditation. So it's completely different to what I expected. But it's probably because I grew up in the 80s in that era of, you're going to bark like a dog and stuff.
Yeah, and you've just nailed it on the head. Meditation is to be like, you sort of go in and notice what's going on, but you don't actively change anything.
Yeah.
The difference between meditation and hypnotherapy is that the intention is that you're going in to change something. You're going in to do some work, whatever that looks like for you.
So people
Um,
use hypnotherapy to do things like quit smoking and etc. What are we trying to gain on this course that you're going to run?
well, with um, acceptance is really what I'm looking at it, and we've got a various little chunks of ADHD or autism behaviors that contribute to anxiety. And again, it's a learning tools for you to help manage those things. And I think the most thing is acceptance of those things.
Yeah.
So for example, I can't remember all what we're doing. I think focus, focus is a good one. Instead of taking the whole big subject of, decluttering your whole garden, it's, okay, I will just do a very, very small chunk, and then
Okay.
working
Yeah.
out what those barriers are to getting you started
Yeah.
and overcoming them so that, you can then subconsciously, I can help you put those tools in place.
So
So
you're
we
going to
know
give us,
consciously,
sorry, sorry, you
you
carry
know,
on.
yeah, sorry, consciously that, if you had a timer, if you had something else, but I'm going to give you that reassurance that it is okay just to do that little tiny corner.
So you'll
You
give
still
us
are
them
adding up.
tools to go away with
Mm,
and use by ourselves,
absolutely.
and you'll implement new strategies for us and stuff that we can, we can go home and we can do the homework on
Practical
it
tools.
for
Yes. And again,
self-improvement. Yeah.
I'm not too keen on homework, I will say, always I'm like that. But that's because that's how I go.
Yeah.
But actually, if we do the recordings and we allow you to have the recordings as well, you can play back this. And what this does is helps to reinforce the message, all the changes that you have individually made in your mind so that you can reinforce just keep going. Repetition is the thing.
Amazing, Nadia. So how many sessions are you running for us?
Oh.
Oh, we've both got ADHD, so
Yeah, so
I
I
know
was gonna
there's one a
say
month.
8, I
Yeah, I
think. It
think
was
there's
about
eight
8
as
months
well.
worth.
Yes, eight. So there's one a month for 8 months. Yep.
Yeah,
And on all
absolutely.
different subjects.
Different subjects, and I'm more than willing, depending on how successful that is for you guys as well,
Yeah.
to adapt and add more. If there is something in the community that says, "Oh yeah, I really need help with this,"
Like a
and we haven't
pain
covered
point.
it,
Yeah.
absolutely shout and we'll develop.
That's
That's how it goes.
that's
But we have to
amazing.
start somewhere, don't we?
How long do the sessions last?
So I have allowed about an hour and a quarter.
Yeah.
So the prime bit is a bit of that chat beforehand, a chat at the end if needed. But the main crux of it is teaching you some techniques. And the main format, I haven't really hashed out with Tash yet, but the main format is that I teach you a technique
Yeah.
and I also take you into hypnosis and try and do some therapeutic work or with you at the same time.
Okay. And for
Um,
people that are slightly worried, camera on, camera off, do we have to talk?
So
Please.
because I'm not going into deep work
Yeah.
with you, I don't mind having the camera off.
Uh-huh.
I do like to see people, but I understand also people don't want to be seen. So that's
Yeah.
cool. That's not a problem. Um, but yes, camera off is not a problem. I'm not going to be getting you to talk out loud in there unless you want to share and contribute to the communal sessions. It again is all about your experience and things. Now, I will say though, is if you are doing these sessions, I will.
Sorry. There's nothing like live podcasts, is there?
I
It's a
don't know.
cough.
Quick, get that water.
I know, I've been trying to hold it in for about 5 minutes, and my ADHD brain's been thinking, don't cough, Ellie, don't cough. But I had to let it out, so I do apologise.
It's fine. It's natural.
You can't make it up.
No.
So,
And
where were
again,
we?
so the only thing I'd say, if you join the sessions with us, I just want to make sure that you are in a place where you're not going to be disturbed,
Yeah.
and you're comfortable, and you have a blanket or something just to keep you warm. Because when you go into hypnosis, just like going to sleep, sometimes your temperature drops,
That's
and it's nice to
amazing.
keep you snugly first.
Yeah, so try and get yourself as like a safe space to
Safe
relax in,
space.
because I know when I come to your last course, it started off all well, I had my blanket and I was on the sofa in a very quiet, dark room, and then my phone started ringing and it was each of my children with a dilemma, and I kept getting distracted and kept trying to get back into it. So you know, it's hard sometimes just to find that time, but I would recommend definitely, if you're on your phone or your laptop, if you can put it on silent, that would be amazing, just to avoid any distractions.
Absolutely. I mean, life happens. And as long as you forecast to the family as well that you're doing that,
Yeah.
because I have to forecast it to my family and say, look, I'm doing this at this time. and including the dogs. I have to forecast the dogs as well.
Yeah, I've had to do that today with you.
Like,
Keep the dogs inside. I'm recording.
yes.
But yeah, amazing. So we really look forward to seeing it. And can people book extra sessions with you after if they're interested? If they think, wow, it really worked for me, can we book you?
Absolutely. Yeah, so I'm running two sort of options here. I will do further group work in much smaller groups and much more sort of therapeutic intent.
Yeah.
But also I do one-to-ones, and yes, they are always available. So if they do want to follow on a bit more and think it's amazing, then yeah, just get in contact and we can talk more and, delve a bit deeper.
Quick side note, can you please tell me what do you think most people come to? What are their pain points? Like how I mentioned earlier, like to quit smoking, losing weight. What kind of pain points do you deal with on a daily basis, Nadia?
So, okay, so people come to me with a huge variety of issues,
Yeah.
okay? But when you go down to it, and we go down to the rare boots of it, it's basically anxiety, confidence, and stress. Those are the main underlying
Yeah.
themes. Lots of symptoms. It could be pain, could be sleep, could be phobias,
Yeah,
fears,
because I heard you
whatever
say on the
else.
last podcast that you can help with pain because I know a lot of people with ADHD, they sometimes suffer with, autoimmune things or, what's that thing? Oh, it's
Yeah,
gone from my head, fibromyalgia and things, and they were
yeah.
asking about, pain relief and stuff like that. Can it help?
Absolutely. The reasons why it really helps with pain is that it helps you accept the discomfort, so
Yeah,
not fight with it. When you fight with something like, oh my God, this is like the worst thing ever in the world, and escalate, that fighting with it makes it worse.
yeah, I understand that.
But it's moving through, and again, a lot of, this is where I get geeky, I'm sorry,
That's
but a lot of the techniques that I have personally used have really helped me manage my pain and discomfort. And again, it's not just the hypnotherapy, it's have you heard of neuro-linguistic programming? All of the
no.
tools I use, CBT,
Oh yeah,
some of the tools from CBT too, um, somatic therapy. There's lots of little combinations of things that I use to help us regulate the nervous system,
it's
which
amazing.
then gives us safety, and then realize that the pain that we're signaling, if you've got chronic pain, there's no damage being done, or it's not an urgency thing. It's basically your brain sending you messages that may or may not be useful.
Yeah,
And the first part of managing pain is like, okay, I hear you, body, I hear what you're trying to say, and then you move forward and say, okay, I accept that today is this is area. And then once you've accepted it, do you know what happens?
what happens?
It quiets down.
Wow. And does that work? That really does work for people. You've
It
had clients
really
come
does
with.
work.
That's amazing.
Absolutely.
I've
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 worked
heard
with,
that recently as well. But yeah,
yeah, I've worked with a lady that came in with basically bone on bone arthritis, stroke waiting for hip replacement.
yeah,
And obviously the pain was noisy, and it's not a miracle cure, and I'm never stating that at all,
yeah.
but she was able to manage her pain so much better, and she was able to have the enjoyment back in life.
That's amazing. How long have you done
Mm.
it for, Nadia?
So so officially qualified nearly a year now,
Yeah,
but I've been using probably some of the techniques ad hoc randomly with some of my cancer patients, um, or some of the principles behind it anyway, at least, to help them manage their chronic pain. And of course, I've been using it for God knows quite a few years,
have you been
15 plus years.
hypnotized? Is it something that you had before and that's why you got interested
Uh,
in it?
oh my God, yes. So someone was learning, and I thought, you know what? I went to my chiropractic clinic and I saw it advertised, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to give it a go because I'm like that. Anything to give it a go.
It's the
And
ADHD in you. It's a new
absolutely, it was just like,
hyperfocus.
let's try it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it was. My hyper focus is trying to get myself right.
yeah,
Um, and I thought I went along and I went and experienced it, and I was there because I was a young, I wouldn't say young mum, but I was a mum of very
yeah.
two small people trying to work full time, really not coping with actually managing myself. like things like eating and habits and, prioritizing myself.
Yeah.
Um, in the very basic needs, survival needs, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. And I was like, right, I've got to do something about this. But also, I was also struggling with pain. I've had a pain condition since I was 17, so I was struggling to manage all of this and pain. Can you see the stress behind all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I went there, and she was, she did the habits are now so fully entrenched about how my morning routine happens.
Wow.
Um, and also she was sat there explaining it about how the brain works and how, basically like an empty cup, full cup scenario. And she was sat there, she took time drawing it down, so I saw the visual,
Yeah.
which really makes a difference to me. And I was like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. And then I then was able to take it back to some of my patients. I had a patient who needed his whole spine treated. He was in a lot of pain, but unfortunately, some people react to Oromorph or morphine,
Yeah.
and actually, it becomes even more painful because they take that drug.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hyperanalergic, yeah. Um, so he was struggling to control his pain, and I used a technique that I'd learned. I've got a visual knob that I turn up and down.
A visual knob. I'm
Yeah, a
visualizing that
visual knob.
knob right now.
No, no,
Yeah.
not a gear stick type of knob, but no, like a sewing machine.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'll just clarify that. Yeah, so a knob with a dial on it. Okay, so yeah, I use that to turn it down, up and down. So that's one of the tools that I teach as well.
Yeah,
And I talked him through that, and oh my God, just talking him through that, able to him to get onto the concept and change it so that he was able to do what he needed to do
that's
and calm
amazing.
him down.
So it's
And I
life-changing
thought,
stuff, really.
yeah, absolutely. And I wasn't trained. I was just passing on something that I had learnt
Yeah.
and used and worked for me, and it worked for him. And I was just like, yeah, no,
You were sold from then on out, and
absolutely.
the rest
It
is
wasn't,
history.
yeah, it wasn't a if, it was just a when.
And I have to ask for my audience because I know that they're dying to know. Can you actually be hypnotized to be a dog or any of them sort of things? Or is that all a load of rubbish?
Ah, so if you're willing to play, yes, anything can be done. So
Yeah.
when you do the showmanship aspect, the difference is that they've got a massive audience, they do a few little procedures with you, and they are permanently watching to how suggestible or how willing that you are to play.
Yeah.
And then they will pick those that are willing to play, and they do a bit of prep and priming with them.
So it's not all as it seems.
It is not all as it seems.
That makes
And again, it's, they are fully prepared, and they have gone there with the intention
of
of
being a
being
dog. Yeah.
entertained.
Yeah.
Whether a dog comes into it or not doesn't
I know,
matter.
I seem like a little dog obsessed today. I do apologise.
That's fine.
But
That's
that
fine.
is the first thing that comes to my head when I think of hypnotherapy, and I think it's from being a child, and that's what used to be on the telly when I was little. So I think it's just
Absolutely.
that thing in your head. So when they first told me, Nadia's coming and she's going to hypnotize you, I thought like, oh, shit, this is different, but
Uh-huh.
completely different to anything that I expected. So I just wanted to make it clear to our audience, what they're going to expect from your calls because it's very different.
So the worst thing that's going to happen is that you might be relaxed.
Wow. It
Okay,
sounds good.
that's it's one of the side effects. And what people have come back to me. They use the word weird.
Yeah.
Okay, not in a negative connotation, but in a I don't quite know how to explain
How
it,
you put your
but
finger on it.
it's lovely.
Yeah.
It's like fantastical, but it's weird. It's
It's just
odd
different.
sensation.
Yeah.
Um, and they're all very positive. Some people have sometimes they'll feel a bit pins and needly. There might be some other sensations going on, but again, all of it is under your control. It's just relaxation and things letting go.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Nadia. I feel so much more informed. And also, I did only tell you I'd keep you for 3 minutes, and I've kept you chatting for 20. So I do apologise. But I think it's so good that before people come to the course, they know what they're getting, because it
Yeah,
is so misunderstood.
and it is, and it's a lot of work that I do when trying to put it out on social media is trying to undo the misinformation.
Yeah.
Um,
Paul McKenna's got a lot to answer for.
but he's also quite good.
Is he?
Yeah,
I always get him confused with Uri Geller, you know, the one that bends the spoons.
yeah, no, no. But Paul McKenna did a lot of work, and he works a lot with a chap called Richard Bandler as well.
Yeah.
So he was the founder of NL, one of the founders, joint founders of neurolinguistic programming. Um, they do a lot of great work together. And I also grew up with the weight loss hypnosis as well,
Yes. Yep.
because that was something. So I was probably interested in it for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, that's what I grew up with, Paul McKenna's side of things. I didn't see the showmanship aspect of it.
Yeah. No, that's all we used to watch on Saturday night telly.
Yeah.
But honestly, thank you so much for coming, Nadia. And it was amazing to speak with you. And I would ask you the date when you start, but I just feel like you may have forgot it. So I'm going to pin it to this post. But there's 8 sessions,
It's
right? One a month.
yeah, it's one a month, and I think it might be the last Saturday of the month. I'm not too sure, but it's a
Amazing.
Saturday evening, 7 o'clock till 8. Well, I say about 8:30 because it's about 8:15.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
By
no,
the time
it's
we've all
yeah,
arrived, because we've all got ADHD, I know there are some late starters.
no, it's absolutely fine. And the other thing I've just got to say is British
Yeah.
summertime. That's the timing it is because I know that we had some
Yeah,
people
because we're
across
fully,
country.
that's as well I wanted to add. Thanks for reminding me. We're fully inclusive, like, so wherever you are in the world, it's on Zoom.
Hmm.
You come, man, woman, non binary, it's fully
Dog.
inclusive. Dog,
I'm happy with
yes,
dogs.
you can make me one.
And I kind of hypnotize dogs as well. It's amazing how relaxed they get whilst they're, co-opting in sessions sometimes.
I may need an appointment. Not for myself, for my 2 dogs. But honestly, thank you, Nadia. I will let you go, but it's been lovely to talk to you.
Thank you, Ellie. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye.
Bye.